Hi there, Aquarius, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I certainly appreciate both your viewership as well as your subscriptions. So today, what I like to do is to engage you in a different type of reading, okay? We're going to do a past life reading this time here, and we're just going to see or just ask Spirit, ladies and gentlemen, what lessons are you working on from a prior lifetime? Okay? Rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, that this reading, as with any other reading, simply will not and may not resonate with each and every one of you out there. But for those for whom this reading is meant, I certainly hope it offers you valuable information, because what I like to do for um, each and every sign, particularly this year, is to kind of help you heal the shadow here. And this is more like a shadow type reading, ladies and gentlemen. It helps you heal yourself of the old fears and wounds that you've been carrying. And more than likely, you've been carrying these wounds from prior lifetimes here. Okay? So, what we're going to try to do here is to at least provide the insight that you need in terms of tracing negative patterns, okay? And then we're going to work on letting go, letting God here, all right? So with that said, I'm just going to go on and just grab the deck here, and I'm going to shuffle up. And we're going to start off as usual with just seeing what's the prevailing theme, what's the overarching theme, what's the um, the element, if you will, that constantly pops up time and time again in your life, or the issue that you find yourself constantly having to deal with over and over and over and over again here. So, Spirit, what lessons are Aquarius working on from a prior lifetime? So this reading doesn't really have an expiration period here, so I'm not going to give it one. So it's suitable for anyone should at any time should you wish to look at it. So let's go on and just dive right on deeply and start with the overarching prevailing theme, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Right off the bat here, you have unrequited love here. So of course many of you already know what that entails. Okay? It certainly shows here that many of you had problems, particularly with your romantic relationships, that seem to have amounted to nothing in the end, or really just had no real substance. But you still endured it anyway. It was more karmic than anything. And I feel that in that situation, you were constantly betrayed by someone you thought you could trust, someone you thought who really cared about you. But of course, they only cared about, or that person only cared about him or herself. A very, very true narcissist. Spirit also says, Aquarius, that there's a possibility that, that type of energy might be surrounding you at this time too, or affecting you in some way, you know, inhibiting, Aquarius, your ability to kind of trust the lovers that you do meet, or you do establish some type of connection, or perhaps to just believe whatever it is what they're saying to you, okay, because of this, all right? Or perhaps you might be dealing with someone who have an unwillingness to commit in some way fully, all right? Now, this is not to say that, your, how can I put this? Your your feelings aren't real and valid, because you're constantly doubting lovers or whatnot. But what it is important for you to understand here is, Aquarius, is that this doubt might be coming from a prior lifetime here, particularly if you're feeling constantly jealous. All right? So let's just go on and just get more insight and gain more insight into what um, Spirit wants you to know in regards to these past lifetimes here. So let's look at now the lifetime that's triggered the situation that perhaps you are in at this moment here. All right? Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, you have leaving or travel here. So that card means just as what it says there, leaving or travel. It seems that many of you, it looks like you were like a nomad or something. I'm kind of getting here. Because this problem kind of, it looks like this card denotes an old pattern involving travel in some way or some type of movement. It always appears that you are always on the go. And it might be like this in this life as well. Some of you might even be relishing a career in transportation or travel, or you might already be actually doing so. But movement is certainly paramount, it seems, in this life for many of you. Even you might find yourself moving from home to home or apartment or whatever you will want to say here, but from place to place here. All of this is stemming from a prior lifetime. Aquarius, if this reading is resonating, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Share it with others to whom you think might benefit, and be sure to press that subscription button. Okay? I'm also feeling that some of you might even have constantly, throughout, because, your romantic experiences here, you had unrequited love there. Someone might have constantly ghosted you a lot, or it could be vice versa, or they might had to leave you a lot due to travel, because again, we can't rule out the possibility of travel, or this could be you doing it. But keep in mind that card is certainly all about movement, and this movement might be impeding success right now for you guys. All right, let's look at your current state and what you need to know in relation to what this reading is trying to convey to you. Okay, we have trees, ladies and gentlemen. So with seeing this card there, that shows some type of connection that you guys appear to have with trees. All right, and it seems that is a spiritual connection I'm getting here, because I'm seeing you having the ability to kind of sense what trees are really expressing or saying to you. Keep an open mind. Don't rule out this ability here. Spirit wants you to kind of like go back into nature and remember the lifetime where you were able to do so, and you still are, because it seems like you were recognized or known as what one calls a tree person, if you will. All right, and Spirit says you gain so much inner peace from prior lifetimes when you constantly connected to the trees here. So a lot of you might even feel some type of an affinity to trees. All right, so let's go on and just see what Spirit wants to say in regards to your immediate future. Okay, should you kind of follow the advice, or just continue on as you are, as the reading is saying here. All right, we have biblical. Okay, wow, this is a very, very important card to see here, particularly in a past life reading here, particularly for those of you who are very spiritual. And this card shows, or it denotes, that you were present when Jesus and Moses were roaming, the world here. You were actually a follower, or you lived in the Holy Land somewhere. So again, just you might be feeling these connections, from time to time. Just know that these are really true feelings. And it seems that you shared a lot of experience with a lot of the famous figures that we've come to know in the Bible here, both, the Old Testament as well as the New Testament, because you were there, Aquarius. Keep in mind, Aquarius, if this reading is resonating, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Share it with others to whom you think might benefit, and be sure to press that subscription button, okay? So since you really know what has occurred, you might today find that when you're watching preachers preach, or just looking at different things on television, just talking about the Bible or what might have occurred during that time frame, you're not, it's not like you jumping up and down after having listened to what they said, because you see flaws. And not only that, because you were there, you know what actually happened. That's what I'm kind of getting here. And for this reason, you seem to be following your own star. You started following your own star and your own religious path, I'm kind of getting. And it appears that the horrors, if you will, that you experienced, those horrors, they limited your gifts in some sense, particularly your gift of clairvoyance here, because you are very psychic and spiritually inclined, and you go against it, or you just don't accept the advice that's being sent to you. So this card asks you to kind of call upon biblical figures to assist you. And let me go on and just select another card here. It also calls for you to forgive here. It looks like that spirit wants you to forgive either yourself, a person perhaps who might have hurt you, or just forgive yourself for just for making mistakes or whatever in the past here, because failures, are made by everyone, or we all fail from time to time here. There's no one perfect. Of course, Rome was not built in a day. All right, so how can you expect to constantly get things right all the time here? So forgiveness seems to be a key too as well here, and it might also be holding you back from moving forward as well. So with that said, Aquarius, this is your reading. I certainly hope that it has offered food for thought. Be sure to like and share, subscribe if you've yet to subscribe, and should anyone wishes to have a more personalized reading, you can certainly access my website to schedule in or to purchase. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing your comments, and have a blessed day now. Thanks a lot.